and welcome to the April 29th episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Sim Care. With the current events going on, many schools are taking a look at what will happen for the fall 2020 semester, and MCLA is doing the same. According to Gina Puck, Dean of Enrollment Management and Community Relations, a team is being created to look at all the logistics that would go into what would be needed to be back on campus. MCLA will be taking guidance from other public institutions as to what will be the best plan of action. As the remainder of the spring semester moved online, many sports teams were unable to finish up their season. Cara Fusco spoke with a few seniors as to what it's like to not get to finish their last season.
COVID-19 has affected the MCLA seniors due to the graduation and finishing out their last semester. But the senior spring athletes have also lost their last MCLA sports season, along with the other events that were scheduled to take place this spring. 3 of the 5 spring teams were lucky enough to at least start their spring season, leaving women's lacrosse and softball unable to play a game. This leaves many graduating seniors upset that they were not able to finish off their senior season as planned, but also have reflected on their athletic careers at MCLA.
I think, ultimately, I just think about kind of how it was ended. Women's lacrosse, we didn't get a chance to even play our first game. We had a scrimmage, but it was just kind of hard to, sit with the fact that I wouldn't be able to see how, our team would do in my last season.
At first, I didn't really believe it, to be honest. It's just because my first 3 years of being in the school and playing tennis, I pretty much, I didn't have the spotlight to really showcase everything except for my junior year. And then up until my senior year, I felt like I was going to have, an outbreaking season. I feel like next season, everybody's going to be, it's just going to be a whole different feeling. It's not going to be the same feeling, knowing that they just came off of a missed season. It's definitely going to give that motivation and drive to, bring back something to this school.
It's still pretty unknown what the specific fallout could be from recruitment. I will tell you that all of our coaches are working very hard, as they would be at this time of year, to convert accepts into deposits and also to still identify new prospective student athletes that would be out there kind of coming late to the process. So I would say that as long as school is in session, in person, there would probably be minimal effects of kind of for potential for future recruitment. I think we had a lot of good forward progress this year. A lot of teams making it to postseason, a couple teams vying for the final championship game. So there were a lot of good things that happened, and I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are just building off of that success into next year. So we could see more success across the board.
One happy moment was last season. I broke the 100 points for MCLA, and I believe I hold that record, so that's pretty exciting.
One happy moment I had was this year. After the first match, I felt like, because we won the first matches, the first games and all that, first set, and I feel like we were all really all right, yeah. Like I said before, we were all on the same page. We had a really great feeling about the season. It felt like there was nothing that could stop us. And then, boom, that whole Corona thing happened, COVID-19, and it just messed up everything. But hey, one thing that I will take away from that is I'm really glad I met the people I met this year, and I'm glad I met the people that I've been known all 4 years.
We wish nothing but the best for the graduating senior athletes and cannot wait for them to take on this next chapter in their life. From Beacon Web News, I'm Cara Fusco.
Not only have sports been affected, but so have different conferences. The annual Undergraduate Research Conference had to be moved online this year due to everything that has happened. I spoke with English professor Jenna Shudo, the chair of the Undergraduate Research Conference, and a few students to ask how it was to move their projects to a virtual format. The URC this year had to be done virtually through a Canvas page.
So we had about 40 students participate in the Canvas page, and community members, mostly faculty, but some staff as well, were added to the page to kind of see what was happening.
To be a part of this conference or to view work, students had to make a request to participate. Some classes still require students to view work from the URC.
We had some requests from students and faculty members just kind of wanting to view the work, which was part of the plan originally. So that was good to hear. And some courses in general, it was still required to participate. So we had, for instance, an environmental studies project that took great advantage of the site. And I heard back from the professor that the class all got a lot out of it.
So my project, which I worked in tandem with Brianna McNamara, was to create a collaboratively written memoir. So that meant we were writing about our lives within the same document, within the same voice sometimes. So instead of doing a PowerPoint, we ended up just picking 3 pieces that we wanted to share that we would have read at the panel discussion. And then we just posted those along with our critical introduction, because we felt that if we had done the PowerPoint, it would have just been floating there, no one would have really read it.
So my project was on religion and reproduction. Yes. I did a PowerPoint and an essay. I have to change it a little bit because my PowerPoint isn't super detailed, because I would if it was still in person, I would have explained all of my slides and explained my research. But because it's virtual, I had to submit my essay so that my slides could make sense. So my project was about parent behavior in youth sports. Dr. Bartini and I were actually supposed to present the poster that I submitted at the Eastern Psychological Association's annual conference in March, but due to COVID-19, it was canceled. So we submitted the exact poster to the URC.
Going virtual wasn't much of a challenge, Professor Shudo said, but it did take away the face-to-face interaction that is normal at the URC.
So we didn't attempt to do any type of virtual conference, just the restraints of resources, but also support and people to kind of help out with that. So we decided not to try to replicate any type of conference experience, and instead it was really just a platform to share the work and interact on a basic level with other people's projects.
I like that it was still virtual because it was cool that, we can all still see our projects, because a lot of people worked really hard on their projects, so it's cool that we can all still see each other's work, especially for the seniors who wouldn't have been able to come back next year, wouldn't have been able to share their work. So I like still having the opportunity to share the work that we've been working on. But it would have been nice to do it in person and to see all to hear everybody else and how they shared their work, and have that natural conversation at the posters and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was nice though being able to submit work to get recognized for all the time that we put in for it.
For Beacon Web News, I'm Sim Care. Incoming freshmen typically have a summer orientation in June to see campus and pick their courses for the fall. With the pandemic, this has been moved to August. According to Kathy Holbrook, Vice President of Student Affairs, the projected date for orientation will now be August 7th, with the Canvas page going live in June or July with information for incoming students. Many businesses have had to close or change their way of operating due to concerns about the COVID-19 virus. Reporter Mei Craig spoke with some businesses in North Adams to see how the pandemic has affected them.
This week on Beacon Web News, I catched up with local businesses in North Adams to see how they're functioning with the coronavirus. Steeple City Liquors and Pizza Works have not been affected by the pandemic and are still gaining customers.
We've actually stayed fairly steady. We've had to change our hours a couple times, due to staffing issues, but otherwise we've been fairly steady. We do curbside. If somebody calls and asks, we can do cards over the phone and take orders and then bring it out to the curb, but we don't do delivery.
So we're here. We're just risking our lives to serve people, but we got to do something to pay our bills. Not much. Our business is good right now. Most of the places are closed, so we're doing all for specials for armed forces like Army, police officers, nurses, doctors, firefighters. If you want to put it down, we wear gloves and masks here, and we have on the floor we drove 6 foot social distancing for the people, And we're not allowing anybody for dining. We're just doing takeout and deliveries.
Alongside other businesses in North Adams, according to the NA Movieplex Instagram, they'll be delivering and selling popcorn and candy from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and it will be delivered from Wednesdays to Sunday. For Beacon Web News, I'm Mei Craig.
And now to Robert Wehry, our entertainment reporter, with some history about arts and entertainment venues around the MCLA campus and more stories, on this week's episode of Wehry Weekly Entertainment News.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the last episode of Wehry Weekly Entertainment News associated with BWN. Today I will be discussing arts and entertainment venues in my hometown of Pittsfield. Our first stop is Barrington Stage Company. The ever-popular theater company opened in 1995. At the time, it operated at Mount Everett High School in Sheffield, Massachusetts. For years, it struggled to find a home until 2005. There, it purchased a long-abandoned building on Union Street. After much construction, it opened in June 2007, whereas it has remained ever since. It is a champion of youth theater and was honored by many organizations for its Playwright Mentoring Project, an after-school program for troubled youth. Barrington Stage Company has produced several award-winning productions. These include their versions of On the Town, Mabel and Mac, West Side Story, and Sweeney Todd, just to name a few. However, their greatest theatrical impact was the world premiere of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. This musical was conceived by William Finn and Rachel Senekin and proved to be such a big hit it was transferred to Broadway in 2004. There, it won 2 Tony Awards, including one for Jesse Tyler Ferguson, years before he joined the cast of Modern Family. Our next entertainment venue is the Berkshire Theater Group, which has 2 locations, one in Pittsfield and the other in Stockbridge. The Colonial Theater, located in Pittsfield, opened on September 28, 1903, and was a major success from the word go. 25 years later, the group expanded to Stockbridge with the Berkshire Playhouse. Sadly, the original Colonial Theater was forced to close during the Great Depression. The Berkshire Playhouse continued to grow, and in 1976 was named to the National Registry of Historic Places. This led to an interest in the revitalization of the Pittsfield Colonial Theater, which had been empty for years. In 1998, the newly renovated Colonial Theater opened, and the Berkshire Theater Group has maintained the 2 locations ever since. The Berkshire Theater Group puts on 5 to 6 shows per year in each of their locations. These range from community productions to concerts to youth theater. One of the Berkshire Theater Group's biggest success is the annual production of A Christmas Carol. It is performed every Christmas with a cast of combined professional and local actors. Musician James Taylor has performed in the musical as recently in 2018. Our last entertainment venue in Pittsfield is the Liechtenstein Center. Unlike the other 2 venues, this venue was only established in 2012. It is named after the late Kitty Liechtenstein, a benefactor for the arts and entertainment in Berkshire County. It is a community arts center housed in the Pittsfield Upstreet Cultural District. It includes numerous artist studios and is the home of Art in Our Schools, the annual art show for middle and high schoolers from students in Pittsfield Public Schools. Additionally, space is used for performances and readings by a variety of musicians, dancers, actors, and poets. Every February, the center hosts the 10 by 10 Upstreet Arts Festival. This is a production of 10 short plays by 10 different playwrights, each lasting 10 minutes. Some of these plays have even been extended and gone on to the Barrington Stage Company. And now, for your home arts and entertainment news. The American Film Institution, or AFI, has launched the Afi Movie Club. Each day, AFI selects an iconic movie for the world to watch together. A film personality will introduce the film, and the website offers a communal viewing. Movies have ranged from the original Snow White to more recent affair like Arrival. The Movie Club also has a section called Where to Stream. This tells you where you can watch the selected movie of the day, from subscription services, to TV apps, to rental and purchase options. Finally, since this is my last episode of Wehry Weekly Entertainment News for MCLA, there are a couple of people I would like to thank for helping me during my time at the college. First, I'd like to thank my fellow BWN members. I'm going to miss everyone. Dr. Amber Engelson is the chair of the English department, and she gave me the confidence I needed in my writing abilities. Professor Michael Burtz has been my main professor for the communication studies and inspired me to focus on a career in broadcast journalism. Sean McIntosh has been my academic advisor and the person who has assisted me in my scripts and WWEN performances. Peter Gentle helped upload the packages and graphics for WWEN. He also made the current effects for the studio episodes. Lastly, I would like to give a special thanks to Charlene S.W. While she did not want her picture to be shown, I am sending her these virtual bouquet of flowers as a thank you. The number of things she has helped me with during my time at MCLA is far too many to list. She has made me into the student, reporter, and person that I am today. That ends Wehry Weekly Entertainment News for Beacon Web News. However, this is not the end of Wehry Weekly Entertainment News as a whole. I am taking a much-needed break for a couple of weeks, but new episodes will be back up by May 20th on YouTube and beyond. Thank you.
That's it for this week and this semester. To stay up to date with BWN, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/MCLA BWN. We look forward to seeing you again in the fall with new episodes of Beacon Web News.